For 50 years, Charlie Phillott and his family worked the land on Carisbrook Station in outback Queensland. They enjoyed the good seasons and endured the bad. They learnt to save when they could and spend when they had to, but they always kept the bank manager happy. That is, until the ANZ came along. Overnight, this bank crippled Charlie's business and hounded him into financial oblivion. A year ago, the Phillotts had to walk away from Carisbrook. But don't think the bank has won, because Charlie Phillott is no pushover and he's taking his fight all the way to the top. So where's the boundary of the property?
Well, the boundary is this side of that distant hill you can see over there.
Yep. Charlie Phillott is possibly the proudest farmer you'll meet. And his property, Carisbrook Station, is best described as the heart of the Australian outback. This is magnificent country, Charlie.
Yes, Michael, it's well worth coming to look at. It's typical Australian country.
1,800 square kilometres of sunburnt beauty. But this station also holds priceless cultural history.
The crosses here, fairly unique.
Charlie's been the custodian and protector of this Aboriginal rock art for decades.
Yeah, it's a rainbow painting, a small one,
and built a successful tourism business on Carisbrook. But this is all locked away now. But right now, the bank owns all of this.
Well, they're in control of it, put it that way.
Has anyone from the bank even been here? Have they even walked this track and had a look at this?
No one.
Charlie, how do you think you've been treated by the bank?
I'm absolutely disgusted with them. What they did to our family, I thought was a disgrace.
So if the bank won't come to him, he's going to the bank. With nothing to lose, Charlie has made the long journey to Melbourne to the ivory tower of the ANZ headquarters.
Hi. Charlie Phillott's my name.
Hi, Charlie.
How are you?
He wants a meeting with ANZ boss Mike Smith.
So are you filming now at the moment, are you?
And this proud
I've just written a letter, really.
and desperate farmer
Why don't we sit here, Charlie? We'll wait here.
is prepared to wait for as long as it takes. Carisbrook Station is a dusty one-hour drive from the historic town of Winton in central Western Queensland. The Phillott family has been farming this property for more than 50 years. 80-year-old Charlie forged much of the land, pioneering a unique irrigation system that saw them survive many a drought.
Yeah, no, he put his life into it. Came here in 1960 and, he worked his guts out. He didn't get any help to come onto it.
Well, looks like we're going to see a bit of green grass for a while, son, anyway.
Charlie passed the property to his son Charles. But in March last year, the ANZ Bank foreclosed on their loan and kicked the Phillotts off Carisbrook.
And I'll see what we can see.
This isn't an easy trip. The first time Charlie and Charles, father and son, have been back here together since they lost their property.
I can't remember the last time we saw it, actually.
Do you blame yourself? I mean,
You do. You can't sugarcoat it. You do feel guilt and responsibility for it, and you feel like you've let people down. But I can guarantee you, Michael, that had they acted honourably and reasonably at the start, I would have done everything in my power to pay every last dollar that we'd borrowed from them.
Their fight began in 2008 when Charles took out a short-term 5-year interest-only loan to consolidate debts and expand the tourism business. The trusted rural lender, Landmark, happily gave them $1.5 million. But what the Phillotts and 10,000 other farmers didn't know was that Landmark was trying to sell their loans and ANZ was the buyer.
Well, I'd say it went along quite amicably until ANZ became involved in the...
So once ANZ took over the Landmark book, the loans, it was hardball time.
I would say so.
By the time the ANZ officially takes control of Landmark's debts in early 2010, Charles's loan is in chaos, thanks to a mix of bullying tactics and bureaucracy. Good faith in Landmark disappears when local managers are moved on or sacked. And only 10 months into the loan, Carisbrook's value is officially halved, wiping out all the Phillott's equity.
I'd gone into Winton there to purchase some fuel and they wouldn't accept my card. And on contacting ANZ, they said, oh, that account's been closed. Anyway.
They had closed the account?
They had closed it, yeah.
And not told you?
That's right, yeah.
Landmark and the ANZ try to claim Charles is in default on his overdraft with a balance of about $78,000, even though the limit, agreed only 4 months before, is $85,000. But before the Phillotts can even argue the error, their interest rates are doubled.
There was a period of about 3 months there we had to find around $17,000 to $18,000 a month.
How much did you pay?
About $500,000.
So the bank got $500,000?
Yeah, they did.
You were servicing the loan?
That's right.
Let's be clear about this. Did you ever miss a payment?
No, I believe they definitely engineered a default situation.
Just like every other dispute that we're learning about involving the ANZ and Landmark, the tactics are aggressive and almost certainly designed to engineer the farmers into default. First, they slash the value of their properties. Then they begin ramping up the interest rates to make it impossible for the farmers to service the loan. And that's exactly what happened to the Phillotts.
Charles, I wouldn't be giving up on this.
Fortunately, they're not alone. Today on the property, father and son are being supported by another father and son, politicians Bob and Robbie Catter.
Hey Charlie, this is the longest dry we've had here.
They were behind the Winton Last Stand rally in December, where hundreds of farmers facing foreclosure
Right now, stop foreign investment. This afternoon, bang, finish.
voiced anger at aggressive banking tactics.
What pleasure must you have to foreclose, tip a farmer and his family out?
It's also where Charlie's plight became public, and only then did the ANZ visit his farm, with what Charlie claims were startling admissions.
They admitted and they said that should never have happened. There was a mistake somewhere in the bank system, and it should never ever have got to the stage that it did.
But after all that and a 2-year legal war, the ANZ made the Phillotts this offer in May: buy back the property for about $600,000, or keep quiet and walk away with $25,000. What's your view of that offer?
I was disgusted with it, yeah.
In correspondence to you in January this year, they say it would be fitting for you to understand that the bank, the ANZ, has suffered a significant loss during this period, a loss of more than $1 million. Do you feel sorry for them?
No, no, because I don't believe it.
It's safe to say Charlie's had a gutful. So he's packed his bags for Melbourne. The 80-year-old farmer has made an epic 2,000-kilometre journey from dusty Winton to rainy Melbourne. He wants answers, and he wants to hear them directly from the ANZ's most senior banker, CEO Mike Smith.
I believe that Mike Smith has to listen today or suffer the consequences.
Charlie's come to the ANZ headquarters to demand a meeting in person.
Let's go over here and see if we can get someone to have a talk to us from here.
Charlie Phillott's my name.
Hi, Charlie.
How are you?
Good.
Listen, I've come to...
So are you filming now at the moment, are you?
Yes, we are. That's why the camera's there. We're from 60 Minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do need permission to film in this building. Have you received that from our...
No, we don't have permission today, but we're with Charlie, who's in dispute with the ANZ, and he'd like to just explain something first, if that's okay.
Okay, all right.
Peter, I've written to Mike Smith regarding some matters with him, and I've asked him for an appointment. I would like to take the opportunity to discuss with him things that are really quite important.
Okay, yeah.
Charlie's dignified manner clearly throws the bank security team.
I'll get you just to take a seat.
Even without an appointment, they don't dare ask him to leave.
Why don't we sit here, Charlie? We'll wait here.
Yeah, we'll sit anywhere we like. I think.
Exactly right. Well, there's a lot of phone calls going back and forth I can see over there, so let's hope we can get an audience,
Yes.
get a meeting.
Absolutely. Oh, we've got the time.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve. How are you? Finally, we're met by the head of media relations, Stephen Rees.
I'd written a letter to Mike Smith.
Yeah, he's not here at the moment, but we did receive your letter last week, so it has gone to his office.
Oh, yeah. But who's next in charge?
Well, there's a guy called Alistair Curry who's in charge at the moment, so I can go upstairs and see if I can...
You guarantee Mike Smith's not in?
I can absolutely guarantee that Mike Smith's not in.
You guys want to wait here?
20 minutes later, he returns with this offer.
Charlie,
yes, mate. Sorry, Steve.
I've got the acting CEO ready to meet you.
Have you?
He only wants to meet with Charlie, and he'll meet with Charlie one-on-one. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'd like to take Michael in with me, actually.
Alistair has said to me
Has he?
he'll
Well,
meet with Charlie, but he doesn't want to meet with a journalist.
Yeah, right. Well, I think he'll do it under my terms.
Yeah, well, you'll be talking to the acting CEO.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll talk to him with Michael.
so it's either that or nothing.
Is it?
I think if you
well,
understand, I mean, you know the history to the case.
Yeah, I know the history intimately.
Okay, but let me just explain this. I mean, there is a great level of mistrust between Charlie and the bank. They've had meetings one-on-one with officers from the bank before and had their version of the story twisted around or recorded the wrong way. What Charlie's asking for today...
about Charlie's version of the story, so...
Well, that's beside the point. That's, I'm telling you their position. He would like someone independent in the room, and I've come here with him today, and I'd like to be there with him, and that is Charlie's request today.
But he's prepared to meet with Charlie, but he's not prepared to meet with 60 Minutes, but that's... I'll put it to him and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, well,
Another lengthy wait before finally...
He's happy to meet with you as a support person.
Sure. The ANZ concedes, and we're granted a meeting with the Chief Operating Officer, Alistair Curry. Our cameras aren't allowed in. All right, well, thank you for taking the meeting.
Okay, Clive. Okay, speak.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Steve. We emerge an hour later. Well, you told them that you want the property back. You told them that when the ANZ took over Landmark, the tactics were aggressive and arrogant. And you made very, very clearly the point that they're not understanding the plight of farmers in the bushland.
I believe so, Michael, yes. And they listened.
Out of all of that upstairs, then, what's the best thing for you, Charlie?
Well, the best thing, in my opinion, is that they've agreed to meet again. They listened. We spoke with them close to an hour, and they've agreed to meet again within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And you'll hold them to that?
And I will hold them to it, exactly.
I guess the question is then, Charlie, and how long do you keep on fighting?
We'll fight until we get it back.
It's a small victory for this grand old man of the outback, and one that should be savoured. But his battle with this bank is far from over. You're a very pragmatic gentleman about all of this. Does it break your heart to see the property left to ruin?
Well, it annoys me, actually.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't break my heart. I wouldn't let it, because I believe that we gain nothing in looking at it that way. But it does annoy me, and we need to bring them out from behind closed doors into the open when they do these things, so that they can be seen for what they are. And I make no apology for that.
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.